Hi friends, Brown Sangal here. I wanted to hop on and welcome you to our Washington adventure layout. We spent about 9 days traveling through central Washington, through western Washington, and we made it to all 3 national parks, and it turned out wildly well. It was in the works for about 9 months, and I'm excited to share this itinerary with you. Thanks for following along. There's an animated map at the very end that follows our entire route. A huge first day landing early June 11th, heading straight to Pike's Place Market, including Pierogi, Starbucks, Beecher's Handmade Cheese, and of course checking out the gum wall before we caught the ferry to Bainbridge Island. Made a quick stop at Olympic National Park Visitor Center in Port Angeles before finishing our route to Forks. Checked into our Airbnb, took advantage of the nearby food truck, and headed straight to the Hoh Rainforest to check out all the moss before bed. Hoh Visitor Center was closed by the time we got there, but no crazy traffic like I've heard there is in the mornings, and the trails were sparse with people. An evening Hoh hike is the way to go in my book. My daughter and I started the second day off early with coffee from Shot in the Dark and a meander around John's Beachcombing Museum. We went back to get the boys and timed it just right for low tide on Rialto Beach and made the trek to Hole in the Wall. We peeped all the tide pools, saw starfish, we saw barnacles, we saw anemones, and the colors were just fantastic throughout all the tide pools. If you're a rock hound, your eyes will pop out of your head with delight. There's yellow ones, red ones, blue ones, green ones, just polished to perfection from the ocean. After the beach, we drove back to the east to Crescent Lodge dining room for lunch. Immediately after lunch, we enjoyed the Marymere Falls Trail and the Mount Storm King Trail. We made it to Tacoma just in time for supper. Camp Colvo's Burrito and Pizza was super tasty. Our Airbnb in Tacoma gets a 10 out of 10. Swings on the porch, chickens there we could feed if we wanted to, and really cool lighting. We started off our third morning with an easy stroll through the LeMay Car Museum and headed straight to Mount Rainier. Made a quick stop at Narada Falls before we got settled into Paradise Inn. They had a slew of games at the front desk that you could check out, which we enjoyed all night long. Having a pianist in the lobby was so special. Day 4 started off with a trek to Myrtle Falls and our very first marmot sighting. I saw fungi and slime mold on the trail, which I always get really excited about, and the weather was being super cooperative. After the falls, we stopped in for lunch at the visitor center before we started our bigger hike to Panorama Point. Mount Rainier was visible all afternoon with perfectly clear skies. We had so much fun running and cartwheeling and sliding down the mountain. After getting off the mountain, we headed to Yakima for a chill evening of hot tub time. We also made it to a hops farm for supper. On day 5, we were able to enjoy the Yakima Farmers Market before heading to our scheduled tour at the wind farm. Of course, we had to get the cherries. Our tour guide, Bob, was marvelous, and it was totally free. We made it to Leavenworth by supper and enjoyed multiple food stops, including Munchen House and Whistle Punk Ice Cream. The location of our hotel was absolutely ideal. It was nice to be in a town that had supplies because we forgot towels. We started off day 6 whitewater rafting on the Wenatchee River. Heading back towards Seattle, we were able to stop at a filming location of one of our favorite movies, Harry and the Hendersons. And bonus, they have coffee here. We wanted to make it to our next Airbnb as early as possible since it was extra special. We got to stay in one of the coolest tree houses on the planet, the Emerald Forest Treehouse. Our host was the most, and it was a truly dreamy experience. We got to enjoy this very special forest at night and then also again in the morning. After saying goodbye to our treehouse on day 7, we scurried off to get to our ferry to get to Lopez Island. Our ferry reservation was made way in advance. We have an adventurous evening planned to climb to the tip-top of trees. The guides were wonderful and we had so much fun, 10 out of 10. We climbed past dark and then headed back to our stay, the Eden Wild Boutique Inn. Day 8 was a travel day to the North Cascades National Park. We started out the day at Lopez Grind and then headed out. We finished out the evening with a perfect-sized hike to Sourdough Falls. Day 9, our last day, the Learning Center provided us with a really great breakfast and a sack lunch to go. We brought our sack lunch to the Thunder Knob Trail and had a picnic on the top. Yes, some of us got in the lake this morning. I believe it was 50 degrees. We headed back towards Seattle as we needed to catch our flight, but we were able to make a short pit stop at the Boeing Museum on the way there. The Seattle traffic was wild, but we made it just in time. Thanks for watching. I've made an animated map of our total road trip. Please enjoy. One thing that I would have changed, which comes as a complete surprise to me, would be to omit the whole rainforest, because the Rainier Falls Trail and the Storm King Trail looked so similar to it. I think I would have tried to replace it with a hike to Second Beach instead. And one tiny bump in the road was that we were 1 week early for prime cherry season in Yakima, because I was super pumped to do the U-pick for the Rainier cherries. I also would love to get back to Olympic in the fall so I could check out the Soul Duck area with the hot springs and also watch the salmon swim. I think I also would have loved hiking the Ozette Triangle as well. And the Cape Flattery area looks so beautiful. If we did have one more day in North Cascades, I would have definitely wanted to hike the Maple Pass Loop. I also would have wanted to stop in the little town of Winthrop on the east side of the Cascades. If you do want to check out Boeing, make sure to get your tour tickets way in advance. Okay, that's it, y'all. See you on the next adventure. Please comment on any places that you guys would have added.